You know that saying, when the going gets tough, the tough get going. Well, this is a teaser for Tough Talks for Tough Times. This is a brief outline of some top topics I can deliver for your organization or virtual events on the elements and blueprints for an organizational strategic response to the COVID-19 crisis. I'm Dr. Chris Brower, Director of Innovation at Goldsmiths, University of London, and one of 50 global industrial strategy officers with the World Economic Forum. So make no mistake, this is a kind of moment of truth as organizations seek to tackle both business continuity as a crisis response strategy and your medium-term strategy for when to reboot for economic rebound and redesign your future. As Goethe said, be bold and mighty forces will come to your aid. So we have three ways to inform strategic moves in this climate. One, we can look at management and leadership fundamentals. Two, we can look at the outcome and results from organizations in previous crises, like the need to ensure your governance has the same speed and agility as your innovation. This is exemplified right now by organizations that are able to adapt their manufacturing to produce ventilators with unprecedented speed and adaptability. History will no doubt look favorably on their mission-led agility. And three, we can look at live data from the socioeconomic outcomes associated with different strategies, like monitoring accessible data on outcomes in China as they cautiously attempt reopening of economic flow, and as to how this can inform strategies in markets and regions lagging behind on the diffusion curves and spread of the virus. It's how we move from descriptive to predictive data and analytics. So how can your organization go about designing, evolving, iterating your own strategic blueprint in response to the pandemic? There are and always have been three main drivers for strategic action, and these are risk, opportunity, and value. So to take action in response to or in pursuit of one or more of these drivers, you have four main levers to pull. These are the catalysts for productivity and well-being in work, and they are managerial strategies, process reengineering, resource capabilities, and technological enablement. This is what you can do to enact change in your organization, and your choice of interventions in these four areas will define your identity as you scale down and then up again through the crisis and the aftermath. Behave responsibly and recognize that the public, private, and civil societies are overlapping at the moment in ways only mirrored in wartime, and that with that overlap comes much greater need for transparency, ethics, and mission-led pursuits of efficiencies and economic gain. So I'll give you a few quick examples of things that are working well in the crisis. At the strategic macro level, you need to be operating by what we term constructural laws, or S-curves, the sigmoidal curves, so common in economic trends and chemical reactions, and indeed disease spread. You'll no doubt have seen, if you looked at any number of the graphs circulating around, the hockey stick spread of COVID-19. These S-curves are defined by acceptance initially, then fast narrow invasion, followed by outward and slow consolidation. So you've got an operational S-curve for business continuity that has emerged in the progression to lockdown, and at the same time, you have the next S-curve of your organizational business model that needs to begin now in response to the inevitable rebounding economic climate. The ability of leadership to nest these two distinct strategic S-curves will define if your organization, from leadership through workforce, both survives the economic shock of the crisis and then exploits the inevitable opportunities for value generation in the economic rebound. There will be clear right and wrong answers to when and how to reboot, and lessons from history have taught us that you should never down tools on your core competencies. The must-haves of your business model must continue to run through the crisis and ready to be switched on like a light switch when the timing is right. The should-haves can be put to sleep and gradually rebooted in economic recovery. As another example, in resource capabilities, working remotely offers an ideal opportunity to develop a talent book in your organization, performing gap analysis on strengths and weaknesses in knowledge, skills, ability, and mindset in your workforce. This identifies specific needs for upskilling, reskilling, and hiring of resources, both in the form of people and technologies that you're going to need to capitalize on for competitive advantage in the reboot. Finally, this crisis has brutally exposed the strengths and limits of simulations and modeling in predictive analytics. It is crystal clear that technology, even advanced intelligent technologies like AI, must serve as co-pilots with human leadership in establishing routes for your organizational pursuit of value and defining values. We can't reboot without technological augmentation, but neither can technology pursue the reboot autonomously in our organizations, or we'll all be back pursuing herd immunity without a vaccine. Get in touch if you want to hear more. If you've watched this far, you deserve a bit of frivolity to launch back into your day. So I'll share a tweet shared by a friend dealing with a crisis. It says, I just want to share what works for me. This is just to give me structure and a sense of stability. 9 a.m. to 2 a.m., wake up and stare at my phone. So everyone has a strategy, and not all strategies are equal. Be safe, physically distance, and take care of each other.